Dr. Dylan Joseph joins us again here on Medical Monday today and to tell us more about the World College of Refractive Surgeons. Dr. Joseph, welcome back. How are you doing?
Hey, Ian, thanks very much. It's good to be back on Medical Monday. And gee whiz, haven't we had a lot of rain, but I think we needed it in the garden route.
Absolutely, but I was, at one stage, I was sort of looking forward to build an ark because of the water. It felt like biblical times, you know.
We're floating away, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, Eon's Ark.
Eon's Ark.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so the World College of Refractive Surgeons, what is it?
Yeah, so for many years, refractive surgery has been sort of a spin-off discipline of ophthalmology. It's never really stood alone, and it's not trained as a subspeciality as part of your registrar timing at university. And so, you know, retinal surgery, for example, is a standalone. There's retinal subspecialists, there's retinal groups and retinal meetings. Refractive surgery, by and large, has sort of been in the wings for a long time. And so this is the brainchild of the same gentleman who formed the Refractive Surgery Alliance. His name's Guy Kazarian, a refractive surgeon himself in the United States. And basically the WCRS, or the World College of Refractive Surgeons and Visual Sciences, is exactly that. It's a standalone college, a separate college from medicine, from ophthalmology. So saying that if you want to become a refractive surgeon, then this is now going to be the gold standard through which you can train. So when the college was developed, there were 20 founding members, or 20 trustees and 100 founding members, and I'm privileged enough to be one of those founding members. And then they inducted about 600 members into the college under the grandfather clause. So basically people who have gone through the rigors of training as a refractive surgeon, who've done their time, done the hard yards, and dedicated their lives to refractive surgery, who have now been inducted into the college. And as I said, about 600 of us globally, and counting. And that's going to be a process now, which we'll discuss shortly.
That's so cool. And what would you say is the mission of the college?
I think the mission of the college is to bring refractive surgery to the world, to empower people to have choice, to know that, you know, refractive surgery nowadays is as safe as flying. When we get on an airplane, you don't think about the pilot. You don't even know the pilot, but you just know he or she is going to get you from A to B without crashing the plane. And that's what refractive surgery is, and how people should think of it. And I think it's about bringing refractive surgery to the masses. So training on a global standard, more refractive surgeons of world-class standard, to be able to say, well, here's a world-class safe procedure that you can now have to free yourself from specs and contact lenses.
And what is the Visual Freedom Foundation, Dr. Joseph?
So the VFF, or Visual Freedom Foundation, is a spin-off of the World College, and it's a non-for-profit arm of the college. So basically, you know, we pay membership fees to the college. We're inducting fellows into the college. There's a training program for the college, and this generates income for the college, which then can be fed to the Visual Freedom Foundation to help people who cannot otherwise afford refractive surgery. So people whose, you know, glasses are as thick as Coke bottles, and whose quality of life is affected because they cannot see, or they cannot work because they're visually impaired. And it goes towards those people who can't, as I said, otherwise afford it financially to then be able to have the refractive surgery. And anyone who's part of the World College of Refractive Surgeons, was a member of the Surgeons Foundation, then is able to avail of these funds for people who are not able to afford it.
Would you say this should be the gold standard for refractive surgeons?
Absolutely. I think fellowships in refractive surgery are few and far between. Most are observerships. Some people do 2 or 3 months as qualified ophthalmologists. Some people dive straight into refractive surgery with no formal refractive training. And what the college is offering is a 2-year program where you sit and write a formal exam at the end of it. And through the training, there's didactic sessions on weekends. You have mentors. You've got to do a certain number of cases with a preceptor. You've got to watch a certain number of cases, then do a certain number of cases. So it's a very strict, regulated program, very much like flying is, isn't it? I mean, you don't just learn to fly by getting in a plane. You get in the simulator first, you do your hours, you do your tests, you do your exams. And that's how it should be with refractive surgery. So yes, the World College of Refractive Surgeons is and should be the gold standard for qualifying as a refractive surgeon. And I think it will create an immense amount of trust in the public as well, and knowing that we have so many, globally accredited refractive surgeons out there then.
And then finally, Dr. Joseph, what does the college propose in terms of training to become a certified world-renowned refractive surgeon?
The program involves obviously being a qualified ophthalmologist, being interested in refractive surgery. Then you find a site, a preceptor site, and they would like you in your first year to do 300 cases, in your second year 1,000 cases. Now, obviously, depending on the size of the population, it can be quite difficult to obtain those numbers, but it's about clinical experience, surgical experience. And then most weekends of the month, you're sitting doing didactic sessions with mentors online, and then you are writing exams throughout this period. And at the end of it, you get another written exam and oral at the end of your 2 years, and then you're inducted into the college after that with a board certification, which is a world qualification through the United States. So very stringent process and hard yards, but absolutely worth it if you're wanting to become, a world-class refractive surgeon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Joseph. This was very, very interesting. And I know that there's also a website that our listeners can visit. I think it is wcrsvs.org.
Yes, that is correct. That takes you directly to the World College, and there you can actually see, dependent on the area that you live in, which surgeons are affiliated to the college. So you can pick and choose your surgeon if you're sitting in Florida, in the United States, if you're in Australia, in Melbourne. It doesn't matter. All these surgeons that are registered with the college will be there.
That's brilliant. Dr. Joseph, thank you so much. This was very interesting. Much appreciated.
Big pleasure. Fantastic, Jan. Have a good week.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.